On this episode of Ghost Tentacles, I don't know what that was about.
Goth stereotypes.
Goth stereotypes, the ones that are actually true. I mean, stereotypes will come from somewhere. Stereotypes,
right. Whether it's true or not, they start from a seed of truth or someone's false perception. So they come from somewhere, right? So
I feel like there's a lot of things that are goth stereotypes that almost were like, God, why does it have to be true? It's like there's like
we fight it, but like you have to.
But it's weird.
The balance of fighting it versus accepting it that we even feel. So I think one in and of itself is admitting that you are goth. Yeah. There's a point where like you fight it because you're like you don't want to fit a label, and this is I think for like a lot of like labels is that you don't want to fit it, but then you find yourself doing the most cliche thing, and the only way that you can really like just go with it is just own it.
I feel like a lot of that, like, oh my god, man, I feel like a lot of that is like high school. I feel like once you're an adult, and even though like we're still in the goth scene, and there's definitely like goth elitists and that shit, like
you stop caring.
I feel like a lot of it definitely changes because it's like I remember being like in 8th grade and being like, I'm not goth, but I mean I was like super goth. I was a gother then than I'm now in some respects, you know. It's like
you're fighting it. But like you sort of, I guess once you've become comfortable with your identity to a point, and you feel like you're not necessarily proving anything to anybody, and you know what you are and who you are and what you like, and you end up being around certain like social groups, it's like, you know what you're around, and like, I'm not exclusionary to other groups, but I know what I like, and you know, once you know what you like, you tend to look for more of it, and there are, you know, you observe certain things that happen again and again, and stereotypes and stuff like that.
So, I mean, obviously, what is goth? We wear black. Yes.
That's a big
We wear black. And honestly, I really don't wear much of anything besides black. And it's just what it is. Like, I have a couple things. Like, you're much more colorful than me. Like, I really don't wear anything but black. I have a couple things. I have a couple gray things I like. And then I have colorful things here and here, but I just really don't like colors.
Like a big cliche, or, I don't know if it's a cliche, but the raccoon eyes and, like, the heavy makeup and things like that. And I don't know, I think it's just the contrast, the drama.
Yeah, like I definitely, neither of us really do like the super
heavy,
giant like cat eyes.
I think it's also like as you are around it for a long time, your tastes become a little bit more refined.
Absolutely.
And I think that like we probably both have had heavier makeups at times in our life. And I know that even what I do is like kind of dramatic for people that aren't used to it. I mean, there's the clown makeup cliche thing, and like a lot of people do kind of really like to go over the top with makeup. So I feel like that's a true stereotype, I guess.
It's definitely a true stereotype.
But I guess that what is clown makeup to one person is art or like beautiful or sexy to another person, like, so it's a matter of perspective.
I also think there's a way to do it, because like, of course there are goths who slather makeup on, and it is a mess, and it does look like clown makeup in some ways, because it's just because they haven't really learned how to do makeup yet, and you learn. Yeah,
and you learn through trial and error, and I mean those pictures are going to haunt, pun, you for a while if they're out there, but I mean it's kind of fun to almost make fun of yourself. Maybe we could even put up like before and after pictures of ourselves, like if you have any really spoopy old ones.
So here we are in high school as goths, ready, set, goth.
So yeah, there's some, everyone has evolution. I think another one is we're not obsessed with death, but I think that we all, like a lot of us, there's that common thread of sort of a dark sense of humor and sensibility about life, where like it's not necessarily macabre per se, but a lot of us, maybe it's even desensitization, which helps you accept a lot of stuff about and cynicism and things like that, which are common stereotypes for goth people.
Yeah. So
like spooky things, or like just, I don't know, what's more.
I mean, we really do like I mean, it's just what we like. Like, you know, we think graveyards are pretty. We look at them and we see, like the one photo shoot we did for the calendar, like we saw like
it was cliche,
like,
but it was appealing. It's aesthetically, like sometimes in that situation you're like, oh god, it hurts because it's so cliche, like I don't want to go there, but fuck it, I want to go there because look how pretty this is. So I mean,
okay, so another one that I think is really weird about goth, and I don't get it, because I thought for a long time it was bullshit, and then I realized that it really isn't, is that all of us, like, okay, so saying that we're all depressed is a very general term, but the fact of the matter is we all do have, like, weird mental things, and it's like, you know, you and I have, like, horrible anxiety, and we have, like, this weird anxiety about weird shit, and it's like, we know other, like, tons of our friends have weird anxieties and weird social quirks and stuff, and it's like, how does something like that fall hand in hand with goth? But it just kind of does.
I think, I mean, you can examine it and come up with hypotheses about it, like that, how a lot of it is, if you're on the edge of anything, even though Goth isn't really quite the edge in any way, but like, if you're ostracized in any way and you feel something that you identify with, and you hold on to it, and you meet like-minded people, like, then you have a sense of community, but you're always, if growing up during your main developmental years you've been ostracized, or it's something that like just you feel on the outside, then you're going to be a collection of outcasts, and there you can be camaraderie in that, but like you're still going to have sort of that uneness to you that makes you a little bit, you know, not feel like you can relate to a lot of people or connect to a lot of things, that because you were always outcast. Like, pushing yourself from the outside is freeing, but it's also alienating yourself from everything, and like there are unforeseen side effects, I think, that developing can happen, like anxiety.
We do like bats, we do like spiders.
Many of us, yeah.
We do like black.
PVC, the Victorian, the just black, the fluffy, I mean, these are things that appeal to me too, but I don't know what it is psychologically that is appealing about it.
I don't know either.
To certain people.
But then again, like, I don't
Those
really
are true
like
cliches.
PVC, though. Like, I don't,
yeah.
but that's because I think it's sticky and awkward to wear.
Lots of us like vampire, like, fantasy, I would say. Lots of spooky fantasy, lots of us like zombies. Lots of us like, horror in general. I don't know what it is, but a lot of us find that appealing, it seems.
Or horror, or like, obviously, I'm more looking for ghost things, or like things that can be feasibly true kind of horror. So, you know, I'm not so much the murder, blood, and gore.
And occult, and...
Which is actually another interesting point, is that a lot of people think Goths are Satanists, which is not exactly... I wouldn't call that true, because I don't think that Goths are Satanists is a blanket statement. However, I have seldom known... I know they exist, so I know that I can even think of a few. But there are very, I'd say, as far as Goths go, much less are going to claim a normal religion. So it's like, while we're definitely not all Satanists, I certainly claim an alternative religion.
I think that,
you're not going to find us mostly. I think that
the thing that, again, why stuff like that happens is that the freedom in being other allows you to think more critically about things that are, like, mainstream, and then but the sort of sad side of that, the downside of that, is that you're less likely to embrace things that are mainstream just because they are mainstream, which is kind of gross. But like, religion is so saturated in the mainstream, and like a few world major religions, that like you almost want to reflect on that as someone who is an outsider, and then sort of find something that's more true to you. So I feel like a lot more alternative people, because of the state of being alternative to begin with, it makes you think critically about a lot of mainstream things and avoid a lot of mainstream things.
Everything in this video is a generalization. Disclaimer.
The cliche of the Satanist Goth, which she was talking about before, which so many of us are not, but we've both come across plenty of people who think they're fucking vampires and think they're, and this is completely real, people who think that they are real, like, that they can talk to Satan and raise Cthulhu, and I think that it's just because people...
Come on, you think you could raise Cthulhu.
He's my BFF. But it's just because I think there's like people just jump the boat, and they're like so extreme as like repulsion to the mainstream concepts, that they're willing to jump and run with something that they relate to or are excited by, but they don't think critically about it. But
whereas the two of us have like delved deeply into
what
stuff,
we like,
like,
and decided,
very extremely critical of what we believe and don't believe and stuff. And even I would venture to say that we have opposing beliefs on certain things.
A lot of classic literature and media and stuff like that.
Like, we all like Edgar Allan Poe. We do. We really do. Like, we really do. He's fucking awesome. We really do. and you see that like coming up in a lot of different culture stuff within the alternative, and then like reinvented in different ways. So, black nail polish. Oh, that we own black pets.
Yeah, a lot of Goths like their black pets.
A lot of Goths
or spooky pets too.
Yeah, spooky pets. Like, a lot of Goths have like snakes or something like that. And I am.
I wouldn't lie. I'd want an owl or a bat if I could.
Oh, Frank.
Frank is the Goth
black. He is all black.
I'm sure you could put up some videos or photos of Frankie, which if you don't already know him. Probably do.
Just look at another video. He's Frank.
He's a very cute. He's a Frankie dog.
Awesome.
Examining your Goth.
Oh, we have tattoos. That's generally a pretty
aesthetic,
safe Goth stereotype. I don't actually, you know, it's weird. I actually can think of a couple people who don't have tattoos, but we have tattoos. So
I think a fairly safe Goth stereotype is
modification.
Modification. Yeah. or self-definition. So like unusual, even though there tends to be a certain convention to it of hair, tattoos, and piercings, but unusual for the mainstream. But I think that even within the alternative, it becomes mainstream. So there's like certain
that's true.
Certain trends.
Definitely, like I mean, pretty much every goth we know has some sort of an alternative something to their hair. That was some discussions on the trueness of
it'll probably piss off some of you, but it's okay to be cliche. Because you can like what you like, whether it falls within the lines of a stereotype or not. Just fucking whatever.
And honestly, if you like it and you're not doing it because of the stereotype, you're not being true to yourself, and that's just like a waste of life.
Yeah, that's
really.
worse than fitting the cliche.
Just fucking do it. If that's what you want to do, do it. If you're just doing it to do it, to go through the motions, then figure out what's really you and do what's really you. But I mean, if what's really you is being the most stereotypical goth that there is in the world, then
fucking do it.
Do it. So what?
Because we've gotten a lot of hate, I know that I have, when you, even jokingly, even in making fun of yourself, say that you're so goth.
Yeah, but like we do it as a joke all the time. I mean, I think that there's nobody in this world who makes fun of us more than we do about ourselves, and I think that that's nice.
Healthy.
I think that you should be able to make fun of yourself. So thank you for watching this very deep and informative episode of Ghost Tentacles, where we talk about goth things.
And sociology and philosophy and goth psychology and yes.
Well, thank you for watching this episode of Ghost Tentacles. Subscribe to our channel, fill your life with octoplasm, and fucking goth stuff. Super goth stuff. So goth. We poop bats. You poop bats?
Yeah, it's kind of difficult.